Welcome back to the channel World Coins Master. Today's fascinating journey into the world of rare and extraordinary coins that have stunned collectors and historians alike. If you're someone who finds joy in discovering hidden treasures within common pocket change, or if you're just curious about how an ordinary coin can become a millionaire's dream, then you've landed at the right place. Today, we're going to unravel the unbelievable story of the 1971 D. Roosevelt dime, a coin with a face value of just 10 cents, yet one of its known variants is now estimated to be worth over $13 million due to a remarkable series of minting errors, unusual characteristics, and the incredibly rare circumstances that surround it. Imagine reaching into your change jar or pocket and pulling out a dime so rare, so historically significant, and so misunderstood that it could literally change your life. Most people look at a dime and see exactly what it is supposed to represent, 10 cents. But in the rarest cases, like the 1971 D dime, what you're actually holding may be a relic of minting anomalies, transitional designs, or unintentional mint mistakes that lead to astronomical valuations in the numismatic world. To understand why a simple 1971 D dime could be worth over $13 million, we must first delve into the context of that era. The year 1971 marked a time of transition and modernization within the U.S. Mint. It was a period filled with experimentation, adjustments in minting machinery, and evolving coin compositions. The Denver Mint, indicated by the D Mint mark, was operating at high capacity to meet the growing national demand for coinage. With such enormous production quotas and evolving technologies, there was always the potential for human and mechanical error, and in some very rare instances, these errors went unnoticed and slipped into public circulation. One of the first clues to the extraordinary value of a 1971 D dime is the presence of mint errors that are not immediately visible to the untrained eye. The most prominent error types that have been discovered include double die obverse, off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and transitional metal compositions. Each of these errors contributes differently to the coin's rarity and valuation. Let's consider the double die obverse, a phenomenon that occurs when the die used to strike the front of the coin is engraved twice, slightly offset from the original impression. This results in doubling of design elements like the date, inscriptions, or Roosevelt's profile. On a 1971 D dime, such a feature would be extremely unusual, and thus exponentially raise its value. Another possibility lies in the planchet error category. A planchet is the blank metal disc that is struck to create a coin. In the case of the 1971 D dime, there have been rumors and isolated findings of dimes that were struck on foreign planchets, or leftover blanks from earlier years, or even different denominations. Imagine a 1971 D dime mistakenly struck on a silver planchet left over from pre-1965 coinage. Such a coin would not only be unique but would also represent a failure in quality control, making it highly valuable among error collectors and professional numismatists. A particularly fascinating theory revolves around transitional errors. These occur when a coin is struck using outdated or upcoming dies or planchets due to miscommunication or mistake within the minting facility. For example, if a 1971 D dime was struck using an old 90% silver planchet instead of the standard copper-nickel clad composition used since 1965, this would represent a major error. Since the official transition to copper-nickel clad occurred years prior, the presence of a silver dime from 1971 would be both a historical anomaly and a numismatic marvel. What makes this coin even more desirable is the potential for it to have a rotated die error. This happens when one die is rotated improperly, causing the reverse side to appear askew when the obverse is oriented correctly. In some cases, rotations of 180 degrees have been found, and although rare, these coins are in high demand due to their visual oddity and the difficulty in replicating such an error. Then there's the mystery of the missing mint mark, or the presence of a repunched mint mark. The Denver Mint's dimes are typically identified by a D under the year. However, in certain error varieties, this mint mark is either missing entirely, weakly struck, or appears to have been stamped more than once, known as RPM or repunched mint mark. An RPM on a 1971 D dime could mean it was stamped with the mint mark, then struck again to correct alignment. Something that shouldn't normally happen and certainly not something intended by the mint. This anomaly is a beacon for collectors and another reason this coin could be appraised at sky-high figures. Some extremely rare examples of the 1971 D dime may have been struck using proof dies by mistake. Proof coins are specially struck with polished dies and blanks for collectors, not for general circulation. They have a mirror-like surface and incredible detail. If any such proof die was mistakenly used on a business strike coin, it would result in a hybrid coin that should not exist. These kinds of errors are almost always considered priceless because they offer a unique combination of features that simply define normal minting practices. Let's not forget about the off-metal strikes. This rare and highly collectible error type occurs when a coin is struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination altogether. If, by error, a 1971 D dime was struck on a planchet meant for a cent or a foreign coin, the resulting error would be easily detectable by weight, diameter, or visual inspection. These coins sometimes go unnoticed and end up in circulation only to be discovered years later by sharp-eyed collectors or coin experts. Adding more intrigue to the story of the 1971 D dime are the extremely low survival rates of known errors. While hundreds of millions of dimes were struck that year at the Denver Mint, only a handful of true mint error examples have ever surfaced, making them astoundingly rare. Rarity is the cornerstone of numismatic value. The fewer error coins exist, the more valuable they become, especially if they've been authenticated and graded by a reputable third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC. Grading plays a massive role in the value determination of rare coins like the 1971 D dime. A mint state or uncirculated example featuring one or more of the error types mentioned above could fetch a fortune at auction. Coins with high grades such as MS67 or higher are particularly desirable, and when paired with unique errors, they become irreplaceable artifacts. In many high-profile cases, such dimes have set auction records and become prized pieces in elite collections. Another important aspect in understanding the $13 million valuation of the 1971 D dime is the numismatic market itself. Coin collecting is one of the world's oldest and most passionate hobbies, with collectors often willing to spend astronomical sums on pieces that complete their sets or tell a unique story. The market's demand for error coins has grown immensely, and coins that were once overlooked are now being re-evaluated under modern magnification and technological analysis. This renewed interest has unearthed many hidden gems, leading to sky-high valuations and media coverage. Auction results have demonstrated that once a rare error coin becomes the focus of collectors' attention, its value can multiply rapidly. A previously unknown or undocumented error variety of the 1971 D dime could make headlines and break records if brought to auction today. Combine that with an exciting story of discovery, perhaps it was found in an old coin jar or passed down through generations, and you've got a formula for one of the most valuable dimes ever recorded. Let's consider the psychology of collectors as well. For many, the value of a coin is not merely its rarity or error, it's the story it tells. A 1971 D dime that defies all expectations by exhibiting multiple mint errors, historical significance, and an element of mystery becomes more than just a piece of currency. It becomes a talking point, an artifact, and sometimes even a legend. This is what gives such coins their million-dollar value, and in the case of this extraordinary 1971 D dime, a $13 million appraisal isn't just a fantasy, it's a reflection of what the numismatic community is willing to invest in rarity and history. Furthermore, let's not overlook how provenance, meaning the history of a coin's ownership, can affect its value. If a coin has passed through famous collections or has been featured in respected numismatic publications, its prestige and value can increase dramatically. A 1971 D dime with such a backstory would be nearly priceless to the right buyer or institution. And here's where things get really interesting. There's growing speculation in the numismatic world that not all known examples of valuable 1971 D dimes have been discovered yet. This means that somewhere out there, possibly in a pocket, piggy bank, or inherited collection, could lie the next $13 million discovery waiting to be found. That's what makes this topic not just exciting but empowering. It tells everyday people that they, too, could find treasure in the most unlikely of places. Let's now explore the human stories behind such discoveries. There have been numerous cases where individuals unknowingly possess rare coins for decades, only to discover their true value after consulting with an expert. These stories often result in life-changing moments, paying off debts, buying homes, or starting businesses, all sparked by a simple coin. The 1971 D dime, with its unique set of anomalies and immense value, is no different. It could be hiding in plain sight, nestled among ordinary coins, overlooked because of its seemingly Today, we delve into the remarkable story of the 1990 D1 dime coin, a coin with a face value of just 10 cents, yet in the eyes of collectors and numismatists, it holds an almost mythical status, fetching a value rumored to be as high as $9 million. This isn't just a story about age or rarity, it's a tale filled with intrigue, errors, minting mistakes, and mysteries that continue to fascinate even the most seasoned coin experts. The 1990 D. Roosevelt dime was minted in Denver, as denoted by the D mint mark. At first glance, it appears as an ordinary modern dime, small in size, composed of a copper nickel clad, bearing the familiar image of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse. But within this unassuming appearance lies a deeper story, one involving incredible minting anomalies, unintentional mistakes, and quirks in the production process that elevated a common piece of pocket change into a multimillion-dollar artifact. Throughout this deep dive, we will explore all the factors that contribute to its unbelievable value, unraveling what makes this dime stand out among billions. To understand the exceptional nature of the 1990 D1 dime coin, we must first understand the minting process itself. Each United States coin undergoes a complex production journey. It begins with blank planchets, coin-sized metal discs, that are fed into a coining press where dies strike them with immense force. The obverse and reverse dies carry the design, while another component applies the edge reading. Although the process is engineered for precision, it is not immune to human or mechanical errors. It is these rare errors that transform ordinary coins into numismatic legends. One of the first types of errors that could occur during minting involves the die itself. A die can become worn, misaligned, or even cracked over time. A misaligned die error happens when the dies are not perfectly aligned, leading to coins that exhibit off-center strikes or unusual design placements. In the case of the 1990 D dime, collectors have reported variations with dramatically misaligned dies, where Roosevelt's portrait is shifted and the lettering appears warped or partially missing. Such errors are rare and significantly boost the value of a coin, especially if the rest of the details remain sharp and identifiable. Another potential error involves the mint mark itself. The D mint mark on the 1990 D dime is expected to be crisp and consistently placed. However, there are known examples where the mint mark appears doubled, ghosted, or even absent entirely. Missing mint marks were more common in earlier years, especially in 1982 when the Philadelphia Mint accidentally struck dimes without a mint mark. A 1990 D dime missing its D would be seen as a major anomaly. If such a coin exists, and it bears other unusual features, it could easily skyrocket in value, particularly if only one or two specimens have ever surfaced. Even more intriguing are overstrikes and double dies. A double die error occurs when the die receives more than one impression from the hub in slightly different positions. This creates a doubling effect on parts of the design, such as the lettering, numbers, or even Roosevelt's profile. While this error is famously associated with the 1955 and 1969 S. Lincoln cents, some rare 1990 D dimes have shown indications of minor doubling, especially around the date and the word Liberty. These features are often overlooked by the untrained eye but can be the key difference between a common coin and a multi-million-dollar treasure. Another layer to the 1990 D dime's mystique is the possibility of wrong planchet errors. These occur when a planchet intended for a different denomination is accidentally fed into the press. Imagine a dime struck on a penny's copper planchet or on a foreign coin's planchet due to a minting mishap. These coins are instantly noticeable due to their weight, color, and sometimes their size. There have been isolated rumors of 1990 D dimes struck on cent planchets, making them lighter, reddish in hue, and incredibly rare. If confirmed and authenticated, a coin like this could easily justify a multi-million-dollar price tag in the eyes of elite collectors. The coin's surface also tells a story. Broad strike errors, where the coin is struck without the collar that holds it in place, result in coins that are wider and flatter than normal. This gives them a distinct appearance, and can command significant premiums. If a 1990 D dime has this error in addition to others, such as misalignment, doubling, or an incorrect planchet, the combination of anomalies compounds its uniqueness and thus its market value. Collectors and investors alike are drawn to the rarity of condition as well. Most 1990 D dimes circulated heavily, acquiring wear, nicks, and scratches. Finding a pristine specimen in mint state or proof-like condition is difficult. When a high-grade coin also has a dramatic error, it becomes an elite numismatic prize. A 1990 D dime graded MS-67 or higher with multiple rare errors could attract bidding wars among private collectors, auction houses, and institutions, all willing to pay astronomical amounts to own a piece of minting history. Auction history plays a role in establishing a coin's perceived market value. While most 1990 dimes trade for less than $1, a handful of extraordinary examples have fetched surprising prices. Some have appeared in private sales or estate collections, their full details never publicly disclosed. Stories circulate within the numismatic community about off-the-books transactions involving rare 1990 dimes sold for 6 or 7 figures. When rumors and confirmed sales converge, it stokes further interest, and the legend grows, contributing to the belief that one specific specimen may be worth as much as $9 million. Provenance and uniqueness are key contributors. If a particular 1990 dime has a documented chain of ownership, detailed photos of its era features, professional grading, and perhaps even historical significance tied to a known collection or a famous numismatist, it becomes more than just a coin, it becomes a historic artifact. Unique provenance, especially when tied to one of one's status, justifies multi-million-dollar valuations, not just in dimes, but in the broader world of rare coins. The speculative market also adds fire to the phenomenon. In an age where digital platforms allow collectors to discuss, trade, and showcase coins globally, buzz can quickly transform a curiosity into a coveted treasure. YouTube channels, online auctions, and rare coin forums spotlight these anomalies, sometimes catapulting a rare dime into stardom. The story of the 1990 dime worth $9 million may have originated from such forums, where excitement, uncertainty, and myth merge to create a collectible of legend. Beyond the errors, we must also consider minting population. The U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of dimes in 1990, but exact figures on how many contain specific errors are nearly impossible to obtain. If only one or two exist with a particular combination of mistakes, like an off-center strike, missing mint mark, incorrect planchet, and doubling, all verified by grading services, that coin would essentially be one of a kind. In numismatics, uniqueness drives value. A single 1990 dime with these features could feasibly command any price collectors are willing to pay, $1 million, $5 million, or even $9 million if the circumstances are exceptional enough. As we reflect on this coin's journey from a mint in Denver to becoming the subject of multi-million-dollar speculation, we see how layers of minting mystery and historical curiosity transform it. The 1990 1 dime coin, seemingly mundane, offers a perfect storm of possibilities: obscure minting errors, rare combinations of anomalies, uncertain population counts, and market frenzy. It embodies the spirit of discovery that fuels the coin collecting community.